as you know, me and Nate, we're always trying to come up with things to like really help you guys based on things that we've done or are currently doing. So we kind of wanted to talk about micro campaigns, which I'm getting ready to kick one off today. Um, so just some behind the scenes on it, how you can do it. Um, Prerequisite is I did I think I might have done two or three posts, just kind of gauging interest while I was in New York, and the interest was there. So doing something brand new because I'm, a crazy white boy that's doing a promo inside of a promo. It's just what I do. Ask Nate, he'll tell you. Um, I just wrote the offer for it before core call, so I'll share that with you guys so you can see it, and we'll get to kind of see how it plays out in real time. I'll bring back the results to you guys. Um, I saw where I think it was Michelle, maybe Danya, like y'all got access to all of this already. Um, I guess that just proves like good marketing because y'all wanted to check it out. But I think it'll be really cool to see, and then I'll have even more data from doing a short campaign. Haven't done one this short. I'm probably going to go with 24 hours, just so folks don't have time to overthink. They'll have to make a decision if they want to get it. Um, and we've never done anything like this. We haven't really offered public core trainings uh, publicly, like ever. So I gave folks three options. We can jive on the offer doc if y'all want to see it. I was pretty proud that I whipped it up in such a quick time frame. Super simple, but we got some cool stuff to break down for you guys today. Compliments of Nate because I was on double dad duty yesterday. So shout out to my biz partner up there above me with the crazy face.
No, that's just the normal Nate face.
Yeah.
So a few different nuances to it, right? We'll kind of break down a couple different angles, how we're going to end up using this, like different things to think about in general. Um, Came up with the idea of build a bear offer, basically meaning like people can pick what they want, right? Instead of like a cool thing to look at is like the online information space is like we have the ability to like meet people where they are, give them something, right? If you run, let's say you have a course or example, like we have group juice, right? There's 211 trainings in group juice right now. There's nothing saying that I couldn't sell a single training to somebody for, 100 bucks. Like they're looking to solve a very specific problem, and I can help them solve that problem. Uh, and then in return, if they go out and they apply this information and they have a result, like the chances of them actually coming back and wanting to buy something again is a lot higher, right? Versus like, oh, you don't have $1,000, well, like I don't want to work with you then, right? So this will be kind of hard to do if you're like don't have any trainings or assets, but there's different ways you guys can do this without having like your full blown digital products yet. You can do this with like group trainings. You can do this with your own resources that you've put in your group, like removing them publicly and then start charging for them can be an angle to do. For example, we did this with like the AMA, or Flip did AMA probably two and a half, 2 years ago. And, he ran it for free. And then we ended up removing it from public access. And now it gets sold for, $100. So order bump on one of our products. It's a good real time example of that.
Yep.
Um, so package them up, and so the ultimate goal of this package them up into an offer. People can buy one, either buy one at a time, or to fix what they want, or they can buy like the whole thing at a discount. Now, a couple of reasons why we're doing it can be used to inject some quick cash into the business because they're already done. They're highly leveraged, right? Like we're not recreating these trainings. You guys will see when we get further down. Like this is a uh, very simplified approach to selling assets and like selling products because people think they need this complex system, and we're literally probably the most basic dudes you've ever met, and we're literally selling Google Drive folders. um Two, builds a buyer's pool revolving around core strategy. Example, someone grabs a training X to fix a problem they wanted to solve in their business, putting the chances of them wanting to lock arms in here through the roof, right? If somebody comes to us and they're like, hey, I'm struggling with XYZ and I really want to fix this problem in my business. And we're like, cool, we'll help you fix this specific problem. And then once they fix that problem and you're like, hey, like we just did this really cool thing together. Like, would you be opposed to like working together for a little bit longer? Right. The experience was already good. Right. And especially because we're selling them for fairly cheap.
Yeah.
Eventually we might turn this into like an evergreen offer, feeder offer behind the scenes, but we'll have to see how we shake out as a whole. Um, Now, as I mentioned earlier, the thing cooler than a kitten in a snowstorm is about being in the information game is you have the ability to monetize on things you've created over and over and over again. As long as like it's relevant, as long as it's you know it's relevant to the actual consumer. Um, Now we all have the ability to do this at different scales. So I wanted to give you guys some examples of this. Um, you ran a free training in your group that got a ton of great feedback. There's nothing to say that you can't remove that from the public places and start selling that. Would be
Yeah.
surprised at what happens to the clients when you start charging for it. And what I mean by that is you could have this kick-ass free training that you poured your heart and soul into in your group that nobody does shit with because it's free, and then you charge them $100 for it, and the client results that come out of that exact same training could be a lot higher, right? Just by the nuance of actually having some type of skin in the game, some type of investment. Could even be something. It doesn't even have to be at $100. You could literally start charging 99 cents for something, and you would be surprised at how different people pay attention to the actual information.
Yeah. And I want to throw something in really quick that I want you guys. Some of y'all might have to kind of trick your brain here. It'll be semi woo woo, right? So to prove what I'm about to say, how many of you have had like an idea or an offer you wanted to promote to your audience, but you're like, oh, what if it flops? So then you don't do it. Like raise your hand or just say I, whatever. But like most of y'all, right? All of us. Okay. Now that right there, that one little thought, that comes after you have this idea to promote something or write an offer post or make an offer to someone, that one little piece of self-doubt stops you in your tracks because you're like, what if it flops? So you can ask Nate if I'm bullshitting here, but I come up with like fucking ideas all the time. And I never, I'd say the last 2 years with these ideas for offers, I never go into creating them with like, oh, this is just gonna fucking change the game and just pop off like Chris Brown and Rihanna in 2008, right? I never go into it with that thought. I go into it with the thought like I'm gonna create this to get data. If I write it or I present an offer and I get a no or all of my posts for it flop, it's like I'm just doing it for the data, right? Now, on top of that, I'm like putting this idea together in hopes of helping people, right? That's like most important. I don't want to create anything if it's just going to make me money. I want to create something that's going to help people because that's what's going to make me money, right? If it helps people and they have a great experience, they'll talk about it or they'll tell me how good it is. Or they like folks come back to me and Nate all the time, and it's probably one of our favorite parts. And they're like, "Hey, I did that thing, and it did this for me." It's like, "Fuck yeah!" And it validates everything else. So don't go into your ideas for offers or an offer post or an offer in the DM with like, "Oh, I'm not going to do this because it might flop." Right? It's like the fear of success is what stops you. So like, just go into it with like the thinking of, "I want to try this." So I can get data, right? Like if it flops, so what? I'll get data and then I can tweak it and I can try again. If that flops, I'm going to get more data and then I can tweak it and I can go again. It's like we just keep going again. That's all we do. So I want y'all to kind of take that and start practicing it. So what if you put up a TikTok and it gets 5 views? So what? Change something. Do it again. So what if you don't get any comments and 2 likes from your mama in Florida on your Facebook post? So what? That means you need to hit a different angle, right? So I just wanted to share that really quick as we move through this. Sharita, you got your hand raised. Did you have a question?
Oh, sorry, I meant to lower it. I
Oh,
was just
okay.
raising it according to
Okay.
what you had asked earlier.
Gotcha. All good.
Um,
Come
couple
on.
other things too. You run a paid program with X amount of trainings inside them. You can pull singular trainings and sell them as standalone offers, quick micro campaigns. Quick real time example of this is we could pull raw group juice trainings or group juice 1.0 trainings and sell them at a discount. It's just tactics, no support or community attached, right? So there's a difference in the actual offers, right? The thing is you don't want to like if you sell a program and let's say for example like I'll use like Jeanette and Jill as an example, right? Because I know they have their own products, right? So they wouldn't want to go out and like run a massive discount for the whole thing because it's going to piss their buyers off, right? Versus them having a different nuance in the actual offer, like, hey, for the next, 72 hours, you can get access to 1, 2, and 3, but there's no group, there's no support, there's no community attached, right? So it's like a bit of a different offer. Or the other side of that is you can also increase the value for the people inside of, you know, say Vibe Tribe, right? It would be like, okay, well, we're going to chop the price, but the people who are currently in Vibe Tribe, we're going to give you all of you guys X thing that nobody else gets access to, just so that way you don't piss off your buyers. Like, hey, because you're going to have people, oh, we just paid $1,000 for this, and they're like, oh, now they're selling it for $80. Like, you're going to piss some people off, right? So, or pulling singular pieces, or like selling hive trainings one off, selling any trainings you guys have as like one-off feeders or anything like that.
Yeah. These what Nate was just saying, like for those of you that have already created your own shit, they can be these micro campaigns, which we're talking about today, that you do, in the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, or the end of the month, just to kind of inject, more buyers or a little bit of cash flow, whatever the case may be. But taking something that folks that have already paid you absolutely loved and got results from, and doing like a 1, 2, or 3 day campaign for it, right? And it's just like you pulling out interested folks that you wouldn't normally know because they didn't see that particular thing, right? Black Friday, same thing, right? Like Black Friday's coming up. Say Ashley, like you too. Say you got a handful of things. Say you went and pulled 5 trainings out of Clarity to Cash Flow, and you charge something like super insane low price, right? You just extract some buyers. They get access to some of your best stuff, right? And then they go through it. They might get a result. They might not. But if they might see something in there that they're like, fuck, I really need to work with Ashley. So then they come back, you chat to them, the relationship is stronger, and it's going to be an easier segue into a higher priced or premium priced product or coaching offer that you have, right?
And another a thing I didn't include in here is like it can be really powerful too if any of you guys started doing this, like as Flip mentioned, pretty regularly, because over time you'll end up stacking really easy ascensions, right? So like let's say you do it for the next 3 months and you do it once a month, and the first month you get 10 people, the next month you get 10 people, and the third month you get 10 people, right? The second month, the first 10, there's going to be a portion of them that you can ascend into the premium price, and like so on and so forth. You'll see a lot of people they'll run like monthly challenges. So this is like a good example of like that model, but with a paid micro campaign, micro offer. We've even talked about like only opening the cart in group juice for a week out of the month, right? Because then it increases the demand, right? Like there's scarcity in it, right? So hey, we're only opening up X amount of spots per month to get this thing. And then the second month, it's like, okay, well, now you work with those previous people, like, hey, you had 30 days to apply this information, and now let's like work on this next problem you're probably going to run into in your business. Right? Very easy way to take them from, the cheaper thing and then up to something more expensive. So another example, sell the solution, right? Different prongs to meeting people where they're at in your sales process. This kind of is relevant to everything. This isn't necessarily specific to micro campaigns. This is a good way to go into all of your promotions or all of your processes when you're trying to sell anybody anything. Uh, if you're chatting with someone and they only want a singular piece of your offer, one, you can pull that and give that to them, right? Sell it as like a standalone piece, raw training material, something like that. But the other thing to think about is like when you're talking to somebody, this is what you're going to want to double down on, right? So like a good real-time example of this is if someone comes to me and they're like, hey, I really want to grow and monetize my own group. And, that's like a core part of like group juice as an example. I'm not going to go heavy on the 100 other trainings that they're going to get access to because that's not what they told me they wanted to do. They told me what they wanted to do in their business. So I need to lean into that and lean into that's the solution that I'm going to help them get to, right? Not like all these other things, because then it's like, hey, I just want to do this thing in my business. And like, can you help me do that? Yeah. They're not necessarily going to care about all the other stuff, right? These will usually have a pretty high conversion rate because they feel personalized. If, for example, if you're pulling certain pieces or certain trainings for people, it's going to feel hyper personalized to them because you're meeting them where they're at, right? It's like, hey, I want to do this, but I don't really want to do all this other stuff. Then, if you have the ability to help them, right? And this is kind of goes hand in hand with what I was saying. Using what they're looking to accomplish as fuel for the sale, right? If somebody, and I just broke down this example, but like I feel like it's very easy to overwhelm potential buyers because there's all this cool information, there's all this cool strategy, and maybe the product you're selling, but more often than not, the people are going to tell you exactly what they want to do with their life and business, and that's really all you need to like lean into more, right? Not everything else, right? If somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, I want to build a blog, right? Okay, well, I'll help you do this in relation to building a blog, right? They didn't, and I'm not going to like pile it on like, okay, well, we'll help you build a blog and I'll help you do Facebook ads because they didn't tell me they wanted to do ads, right? Even if what I'm selling covers that, it's not relevant to what they told me they wanted to do in their business, right? If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and like, and I don't want y'all to think about these, too deeply because you can price this at whatever you want. If you're say you create something for free now and you decide to charge for it, 2 months from now, then it's one, already created. Two, it's on a specific outcome or result, strategy or topic, and then you can charge for it for like $25, $50, $100, whatever it might be. And the price isn't going to matter because it's going to be leveraged for you. So like this is why when Nate and I do a free training, like we just try to massively over deliver because we might charge for it later, right? Same thing when we do calls here in core, just like that we're doing it right now. We haven't never offered core trainings, like just out of my own curiosity, like trainings like this. What would y'all deem them to be worth as a one-off? $100 easily, maybe more. Like something you wouldn't shake a stick at. It's like, well, just $100 on how to run micro campaigns to bring in, more audience members and 500 to $3,000. Fuck yeah, I pay $100 for it. Cool, right? So someone might be watching this in the future, in 2024, because we sold it as a one-off. If you're that person, message me now watching this in 2024, right? So I'm constantly talking to Nate, and we're constantly planning like future things. Right. So another prime example is, this Build-A-Bear offer. I'm going to run it. I'm only going to allow payments to come through for 24 hours. Folks might buy it. They might not. It might completely flop. But even if one person buys, it'll be worth it. Right. So it'll be a 24-hour offer first. We'll see who buys, get data, collect all that good stuff, yada, yada. And then it probably is going to become something that, folks can get that lives between group juice in the middle, between group juice and core, right? I kind of come up with the name core accelerator ramp, kind of like you got to have an accelerator ramp to get up to speed to get on the highway. Same deal here. So then we could raise the price, make it to where it's not bundled, but hey, take these 13 trainings, pick 2 or 3, run them, go make some money, come work with us in core. Right? That's how we're viewing it. So we build it now, but we're optimizing it for the future. Does that make sense? Ashley, if you would like to let us know about your confusion, we'll try and walk you through it.
I am just confused on like how it works. Like the challenge thing interests me, but like how would that work in like unison together?
Okay. So I'll try and give it to you from like our business. So like group juice is evergreen. We can sell that whenever we want, like every month, all year long, right? Now, core is much more personalized as far as what we offer in here and how we do things. So group juice can be sold at any time. Like we could be selling that all month long. But we'll talk to folks that aren't a good fit for group juice, or they don't need group juice, just yet, or maybe they already have it, but they want more from us. So we can run these micro campaigns to, I'm pretty sure I'll have some group juice folks buy this thing that I'm putting together. Fairly confident, just because of how we're positioning it and what we're offering. So we'll get to see who really wants more from us that already has group juice, because we don't offer this thing. So for you, like you have, your handful of offers that you can sell at any given point that are your evergreen, but you might want to pull 3 to 5 trainings from, say, your back end of
Your shower
clarity.
is ready.
And
please proceed to shower 4.
Please go to your shower 4. You might want to pull something from clarity, 3 to 5 trainings, and sell it as a one-off for like $100 or $250, right? Does that help make a little bit more sense?
Yeah, I was thinking of something completely different. I think that's why I was like confusing me. I was thinking like those 30 days, like you work with those clients on that certain topic, and then
Now,
the next 30 days, that's what I was thinking. So
yeah,
it's completely different. So like every
right.
30 days, you sell your products that you already have created, and then you just add in things to make that product more valuable or more appealing.
Or remove,
Yeah,
or
so
I mean,
Or
another good example of this too is like look at the free live training we run every month. It's a brand new free training every month. It's the same thing, right? Hey, we're running a training every third Friday of the month to pull in lead flow, where we can
yeah.
then sell off the back of it.
yeah.
Right.
So just to help you a little further, Ashley, look at like how many things you got inside your clarity coaching. Would you say like 15 to 20 different modules or something?
And well, for clarity to cash flow, I think I have like 6 or so, but each module has like 10 to 15 different trainings inside.
Okay. So you probably got, 50 or more different trainings inside those 6, right?
Yeah, and that's not even like my actual coaching.
Okay.
That's just my
All right.
course.
Perfect. Say, and what's the clarity to cash flow priced at?
1,000.
$1,000. All right. Now say you went in there and you picked 3 of the top trainings from any of the modules, and you wanted to sell all 3 of them as a one-off, right? So like 3 bundled together for $150. Hey, if you can't afford my $1,000 course, Clarity to Cash Flow, but you still want to do XYZ result, I've just pulled 3 of the best trainings inside of here that are going to help you do XYZ outcome. And I'm dropping the price from 1,000 to 150 for these, and you can get it for the next 2 days to help you do XYZ. Boom, there's a micro campaign from assets you've already created where you don't offer support, you don't offer coaching. It's just to give them the thing so they can accomplish the thing. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I was confused about that at all. I feel stupid. But people do these every 30 days.
Yeah.
Hold on.
I've seen Jacob do it. I've seen Taylor does it a lot. I've seen other folks do it as well. It's not something that's like super popular. I think a lot of folks don't even know that they can do it, or they're even aware of the strategy. We've been doing it kind of without knowing we were doing it for a while, but just not like, putting it on our radar to do like once a month. So we're running a pretty big test. I think I got almost 50 people interested in at least checking it out. So I know I've already got one person that's going to buy like, the best bang for your buck package. That's $800, right? So I already know that's $800 just waiting to be made as soon as I, send the offer.
So the Build-A-Bear, you have like multiple different levels.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'll
And you have this
I'll
all
break
on one doc.
all
We'll
in
break
one
it
doc.
down and then
I'll show it to you. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll show it to all of y'all.
So yeah, we'll kind of break down the actual deliverables and stuff down here.
Yep. We got
But-
y'all straight, cut. You know what I'm saying? Break it all down. You know what I'm talking about?
So micro campaign flow, one is like you got an idea of formulation. You got to figure out what you're going to be selling, what the outcome of the person who ends up jumping in will actually be. Right. This is a big part, as Flip mentioned earlier. Like, don't go money centric. Right. Don't go into like launching this micro campaign to like what's going to make you the most amount of money. Because the reality is like, if you're going to use this how we're talking about, the better job that you can do with helping somebody get any result, I don't care if it's, hey, they get their funnel built, they get their email automation wrote, they get their Facebook group set up, they get their first sale, they get their first 5 leads. The better job that you can actually do with helping the consumer have a result in their business, the more money you will make, because they will ascend, right? They will end up wanting to come work with you longer because you help them actually do something in their business. And this doesn't have to be a massive breakthrough. It could be something small. It could be a micro problem you help them solve. But get clear on this first. Right? Get clear on what you're going to help them do first, right? And obviously, if you guys can like put out feelers in your content, in your groups, right? Get actual feedback from your audience of what they are looking to do, and then you can meet them where they're at. It's gonna be best case scenario, right? If you're like put out a few pieces of content, like, hey, what's the number one thing that you're planning on doing, in 2024? What's your first goal for 2024, right? You'll get people that will start telling you, hey, I want to build out my group. Hey, I want to set up my funnel, or like, hey, I want to generate my first $1,000 day online. They're going to tell you exactly what they want to do, right? So you can use that. Then once you solidify the direction, you got to like we'll start kind of like building demand before doing anything. Ideally, cap spots, one-time incentives, never done before. Could sell your time. This is another thing that Dan Bolton is huge on. I.e., sell one-off calls to the first 5 people. Right. Obviously, give yourself right like a pay that you would like. But what I really mean by this is like, once you kind of get the demand of the people, you know what they want to do. This is the angle for the first 5 people. Yep. Right. Hey, I'm going to help you in real time, and I'm going to get on a call with all 5 of you, and I'm going to help you build out your entire business. Right. And you're going to charge them $200. Right. Or leverage assets you already have. Right. Kind of what we've been talking about, because we're leveraging assets. Obviously, if you're fairly newer to business and you don't have as many results, this can be a very effective one. Right. The intimacy, the one-on-one, the Zoom calls, that can all be very powerful things to throw into any offer. Right. Now, obviously, you don't have to do it forever, but it's a very powerful angle. First things first, building demand before doing anything in the business. And what I mean by this is like, before you build out landing pages, or you do, like, we're not really doing landing pages for this, but I'm just making an example, right? Don't go build all this complex thing and like this offer before you ever even have any demand, right? So a good example of this is like, you got people commenting on Flip's post. The curiosity is building, right? Flip just did the offer doc this morning. Right? He's posted about it multiple times. He's built awareness. He's built demand to buy this thing before he ever even like started writing the offer. Right. I just pulled the trainings yesterday and he's already posted about it 2 or 3 times. Right. So kind of doing it how you would think of doing it backwards, because most people are like, hey, I'm going to build this thing and then I'm going to sell this thing. But we would prefer to like put out feelers, get proof of concept, get, hey, is there even demand for the thing that I potentially want to sell before I ever even like, go build this thing to sell it. We have to kind of do it from the other side. So Flip dropped a post in the group, right? We were all at dinner, bougie dinner that I thought, was only like one meal and it was a lot. So,
that was a bomb ass place. I'm gonna tell you, like my little country bumpkin ass, I felt fancy as fuck. And then my wife later told me, she was like, "You went to Budokan?" I was like, "Yeah, well." She was like, "That was where Sex and the City had their rehearsal dinner." She's like, "Oh my god." So I had no clue, obviously, but bomb ass place.
So this was like the first initial post to kick it off, right? Ended up getting, a couple dozen comments. Don't be afraid to play with a few different angles, see what hits, what your audience wants to sink their teeth into. And this is a big one, right? People will like put out one singular post and be like, oh, they didn't want to buy it. Well, how many angles did you plan to? How many different types of posts did you put out first? This also kind of plays hand in hand with what we were talking about, is like building demand first, before you actually like start putting in the work, because then you can figure out what they actually want and you can like play around with the angle. And if you've put out 5 or 6 different pieces of content and then everybody's kind of saying the same things and like you're getting more attention around a singular topic, then I'm going to double down on that. Right. So if I'm trying to build a demand around group growth and monetization, and let's say I also put out content about building out funnels, right? I'm not going to like lean into like everybody just told me they want to grow their group. I'm not going to come out and be like, okay, well now I'm going to help all of you guys build your funnel, because as I was mentioning earlier, they didn't tell me they wanted to do that. They told me exactly what they were trying to accomplish in their business, right? So, this will be crucial to having success with a micro campaign, because by the time the offer is over, your audience will just be figuring out you ran something. So, for example, like we were mentioning, I don't know if she's still, yeah, Angela's still on here. If you're wanting to run a Black Friday sale, you need to start talking about that Black Friday sale now, right? Because an example of this is like if me and Flip are going to do a Black Friday campaign and we only post about it on Black Friday, by the time people see that, Black Friday's over.
Yeah.
The offer's gone. The offer's already done, right? So we need to front load it with, hey, this thing is coming and this really cool thing is going to be happening on this date or in the future. So we need to build all of the attention around it first, right? This is going to be a very crucial thing if you're doing a micro campaign, right? It can't be like, hey, I want to sell this thing for the next 3 days and day 1 starts today, because by the time, day 3 hits, like people are just going to be figuring out that you even had this thing to sell. Yeah. Right. So you'd be basically shooting yourself in the foot. So a good example of this is like 72-hour window of a cart being open and a thing for sale, with 7 days of building curiosity and demand first. So technically it's 10 days. It's a 10-day campaign, but the cart's only open for 3 days, right? But you need to build that awareness around the product first, or this offer that's coming, right? It's like if you look at like a good example as what like Ashley was mentioning earlier too about these challenges, right? People will run these monthly challenges, but they'll run paid ads all month about this end of the month challenge, right? Or like the free live training that we run every 3rd Friday of the month, right? It's not like we're just posting about it on the 3rd Thursday of the month. We're posting about it, 10 days prior. We're posting about it a few times throughout the month to build awareness around the thing that's coming, right?
Yeah. Y'all should pay close attention to things that you read from, other folks that you're following or listening to. Pay attention to the things you read or a video you watch that makes you say, fuck yes. Yeah, I want that. Pay attention to the copy or, the words being used verbally that make you feel like that. It's like, yeah, I want that. I got to buy it, right? Yes, I want to do that. Pay attention to those things, because that's whatever copy or the words that they're saying, how they say them, is the thing that's putting you into a buying state, right? This is how you can funnel hack, if you will. Like, use that in your copy with your own offers, whether it's an affiliate offer or your own offer, or you're, just trying to generate leads, whatever, right? Like, just keep in mind, pay attention to when you feel like that. Write it down, save the post. I text myself different posts and emails that I read from other people that I feel are really good, or they make me, or they trigger some kind of emotion, especially if I want to buy something, right? Now, see what y'all talking about. So like every post, I want to do a Black Friday. Yeah, like you guys can take today's training, and like if I was going to do a Black Friday sale, what I would do is like look at things that you have now that folks have went through and got results based on you helping them, like a training you've sold or a coaching call you did with them, whatever it might be. And just make a little list. And then you can run a poll or make some posts and go heavy on the dopamine side of the outcome that it helped the folks do it. Or maybe it's something that, or a knowledge you already got that helped you do something, helped you accomplish a specific outcome or result. And then make a couple posts in your group. Send an email, make a profile post. I'm being uncomfortable as fuck posting on my profile, right? I'm doing it so folks don't miss the opportunity. But go out and ask folks you're chatting to in the
Might have lost them. He said.
these 3 trainings. Would that be worth, $100 to you, or whatever it might be? And Ashley, to answer your other question, I will pull the post. It's only a couple. I'm still feeding the post now. My profile post and my group post today, and my email all fed the post that Nate has got on this dot. The post of us sitting at the table. So I've been feeding that post, nonchalantly for a couple days. But I would do that. Get the interest. See if you've got a list of things. Like if you got a list of 10 things, like, hey, which one of these would you like to see, priced at X, right? That'll help you do X outcome, right? Get the interest first. Make a couple posts, and tell them, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. If I put together a stupid, insane Black Friday deal, would you be interested in getting all 3 of these, priced at, $2,000 in value, and I let you get it for $150? All right. It's like if I'm selling something for $1,000 and it's gonna help someone, make $5,000, that's a pretty easy ROI. It's like, okay, if I get this for $1,000 and it's gonna help me make 5,000, so 4,000 ROI. It's a no-brainer, So they need to see the value in what you're offering based on the transformation or outcome it's going to help them get. Doesn't have to be monetary either. But if they see the value in that, once you price it and that level, it's like, fuck, I can do this, but it only costs this. Oh, that's totally worth it. Then you've got to offer that could potentially pop, right? So step 3, you want to decide on your delivery. When y'all see how I'm going to deliver this, it's probably going to blow your mind. I'll share the offer doc and we'll go over it after we get through this. But you want to decide on how you want to deliver it. So if it wasn't for Nate, I probably would have had to do it a completely different way. It would took me a long ass time to put them all together. He did it in 5.5 minutes because he's a wizard. So shout out to Nate helping me execute on the tech side of things. We chose something very basic on this. selling access to core call replays plus the docs, like literally no fancy shit. It's just a Google Drive folder. And the way Nate set it up, if they want to buy something individually, I can just send the folder, right? And there's a list right there, which you'll see in bigger print on the offer doc. That's all the stuff that we're going to give away. I went back and I did reword the folders that Nate built for me just from a copy perspective, which I'll go over that too, just to make it more sexy and help the folks that are reading it understand the outcome based on the training, right? So step 4, you want to build your buyers. Tap into the folks that, you build the demand with, and get them pre-sold before you start, putting in the work. Nate nailed it earlier. We don't want to build something and then try to sell it and have it not sell. We would rather sell something, then build it because it's already sold, right? This is still a concept people do not pick up. They just don't get it. It's like, fuck, I spent 2 months building this course and nobody's buying it. Well, you probably failed in the market research phase and you didn't do a good job at pre-selling it, right? So if we work on pre-selling first, gauging the interest, getting folks saying, yeah, I'd want to see it, or yeah, I'd want to buy it, and then we sell it, and then we build it, we get paid to build the assets. This is what we've done with every single offer we've ever put to the market. Every single one. Not one did we do it the other way. It's sell it first, build it later. All right. So Nate put up I sent him a screenshot. At this stage yesterday, I still didn't have an offer doc. I just wrote the offer doc today. But I had a person that has been really paying attention. They jumped into group juice, they got cash curriculums, and they hit me up in the DMs. I was like, hey, if you can't tell me, that's fine, but I'm really curious at this new thing you've been talking about. Any way you could send me some details. So me being, Flip, I whipped up a quick message. So this is the offer, basically in a message before I had anything figured out on paper or even in my brain. I was just off the fly, trying to break it down in a message. So you can read it there. But in a nutshell, I pulled 13 of our best trainings from Core. When I say best, I mean 13 trainings that have helped our clients hit some big milestones. So the reason I said that is to, provide proof of concept. This has already worked for other people, not just me. All right. Now, scarcity is the next line. We've never offered core trainings to the public before, like ever. LOL. Even though I wasn't laughing out loud. Now, next line, I was just kind of throwing this out there. I was just doing this to get data. It wasn't set in stone. I said, so I'm thinking each training will have a price tag of $125. For folks that have been paying attention to us for a while, $125 for a core training is, pretty insane. And this will be where folks can pick what they need the most and get access to a full training plus the resource dot to go with it, right? So, and now what I'm doing is I'm doing a value stack, right? So I said all the trainings come up to $1,625. If all were purchased individually, right? So I'm letting them know if you wanted to buy every single one of these, it'd be $1,600. But I'm really going to sweeten it even more, right? So that was what I said. The next part was going to be option 2, which you'll see on the dot, where I said you can bundle 3 trainings of your choice for a discounted price. Nate, if you could scroll me down just a wee bit, bro. So here's the whole deal I did. So I gave them another option. Bundle 3 for, I think I did 2, my bad, Nate. I think I did $279 to get 3. So it saves them like $100. Or the third option, get everything for $800 and get a little bit of core treatment, right? Where we would do a call. And I was being for real on my PS. Like, I'm not offering core to everyone on this, only folks that I know or have some kind of relationship with that I deem a good fit to be in core. But this was the message, right? So they were an immediate yes. It was like, I'm 150% sure that I'm gonna, just do the highest package, right? Now, when Nate gets back, we can finish out this doc because it's not much more, and then I'll pull up the offer doc and kind of walk you guys through it. But this is like step 4B. This also gives you the scope to kind of move and transition into offers, right? If I'm building demand with my content and interest and curiosity, it's going to make for an easy segue to a conversation. Like this person hit me up inbound. I didn't message them. They messaged me, which is how I like it. Doesn't always work that way, but even if that didn't happen with an inbound, I can go to my post where I've been, sending traffic to, just doing content loops. Y'all got that training too. And I'm just getting more folks to comment, right? So that tells me that there's more interest and some folks just aren't seeing it. So I need to run more traffic to it to give folks every chance possible to see the opportunity or to see the post, right? And then that makes it easier for me to outbound them saying, hey, I saw you dropped a comment on this post about this thing. Just wanted to hit you up and let you know I'm working on it. You guys will be the first ones to see it, right? So gives you scope to transition into offers, whether it's inbound or outbound. So if you notice in the message above, a seed was planted about core, right? So the offer wasn't about core, but for this particular person, it could be, right? So this all stays congruent. Plus, you have the attention at that point around the offer. And you always want to start high if you can. If you got a premium offer, something that's $1,000 or more, start up there, and then you can work your way back to downsell based on things you got in your arsenal stack. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Hopefully this is being helpful and your brain is just exploding. That's what I'm going for anyway. All right. So, the little example there, pulled on a singular training that provides X outcome for the customer. We're chatting and see if if we can pivot and make a sense for them to get the full thing, right? Like I made an offer for full pay on core, but they're pretty keen on getting just the best bang for your buck value based on this initial offer. But the seed is planted, right? So you could throw in a bonus, something special for them, whatever it might be. Like I was offering a call with me and Nate on this one. So step 5, the last step, is the offer. Now that I've got this created, I'll start messaging these people that are on my post that commented the word bear, and I just get the offer in their hands. I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking to them because they're already interested. They've already said they wanted to see it. So I'll go through and message each individual person and keep the offer only to folks that have commented. Now, I'll probably post a few more times about it, send an email, because it's only going to be a 24-hour deadline when I open up, to accept payments and let them pick and choose, right? So deadline heavy, outcome focused. That's what I'll be doing, right? So quick and dirty 2-pager, highlighting it. Everything good, Nate? Okay. Quick and dirty 2-pager. 1, the outcome that the person can expect. 2, what you've been able to do with the model or strategy that you're offering. 3, what it's done for others who've taken X, right? Number 4, reason for them to take you up on it right now. Okay. So that's number 4. Once Nate gets straight, he can scroll us down. Yeah. Let me check comments. I see y'all dropped a few things. Brain. Okay. Very helpful. Oh, no shit, Nate. You got a roll?
No, apparently I missed a call from when her mom already got her. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Real quick to finish it out, we'll go over the offer and do Q&A. Step 6, quick promo. It's only I was gonna do possibly 48.72, but just in recent light of the current group juice promotion, I'm only gonna do 24 hours, and I'm not gonna give anybody time to overthink it. So I got my anchor post already. I can feed that until I close it down. And then I'll probably edit the post later saying, hey, this is closed. I want folks to know I'm not fucking around when I say, hey, you had 24 hours. It's closed, right? Glad to sell it to you at double the price. If not, it's closed. Everything else feeds that and the combos. Short dopamine heavy content paired with deadlines. Nothing sells like a deadline, right? Tapping into audiences you already have, relationships you've already built, folks you've already sold to. Hit them up. Hey, I'm doing this new thing. I know you're doing X, and I really think this might be something to help you take things up a notch. Let me know if you're interested. The premise is XYZ. If not, all good, no worries. Just wanted to bring this to your attention, right? Hey, I know it's been a minute since we chatted, but we decided to do something pretty crazy for the next few days that'll help with X. Simple. If it's something you'd like to chat about, hit me up, let me know. Okay. 6B, the offer evolution. This is what we've kind of touched on a little bit. Say you run this, quick micro campaign, it generates X result. Boom, this can easily become a whole brand new ass offer or something that we pull on to sell anytime we want. I could probably wait 30 days and be like, hey, I ran this campaign. It made us a quick $5,000. I'm going to run a 1-day event breaking down the entire strategy. Right? I'm going to show you how the idea came to form, the anchor post that we did, the external content to feed the anchor post, how we generated leads and buyers before the thing was ever created, how I created the offer, and how I sold it. I'm going to charge $500 for this one time so you can go out and run these micro campaigns every single month to inject more cash into your business, grow your audience, grow your revenue, and have more leverage in your life. Only for 4 people. Boom, there's another quick $2,000, right? Or we can do what we're probably going to do that we mentioned earlier. Just keep this in our back pocket for folks to in between group juice and core and meet them in the middle, right? So you can add, you can extract, you can remove. You all have the ability to do this. Even if you don't have your own shit, you can fuck around and go do something paid for cheap for a few folks. Like it's literally just idea to income, right? Based on your own expertise, your own knowledge, and you just get data and it just keeps Rick rolling into momentum, more results, and we repeat the process, right? So any questions at all based on the training today?
Well, another example of how we're going to use this too is we have 2 free trainings planned, Friday and Sunday. So we're going to be utilizing all the stuff we're putting into this offer and prioritizing and emphasizing, if you grab the full pay of Group Juice, we'll give you this offer for free. So it's another real-time example of utilizing things to like add perceived value, add offers. So that's like another offer inside of an offer, because like Flip's been building proof of concept and demand around this Build-A-Bear offer. So naturally there's going to be attention around it. So then come Friday, Sunday, when we're like, hey, we have this discounted payment plan Group Juice, but if you guys take the full pay, we'll give you free access to this. We'll give you access to all 13 of these calls if you take the full pay. Right. So it's another angle for, spicing up incentives or limited time. What's the call on Sunday? We're going to be doing just like a semi-aggressive, hey, this is what's inside Group Juice and like why you need to grab it before the end of the month, because you won't be able to save $500. That's kind of what we're going to do on Sunday. And then on every other Friday, we have done pretty much the same training. Usually I think it's 100K business model, right? Like very beginner friendly, right? Thinking about it from like, if affiliates are pushing this training, there's going to be a lot of very cold people. So who we are, what we've been able to do, what we've been able to accomplish, who we've helped, and then, our model, basically, how we run our business. Yep. This month, we'll probably do the Canva presentation that we ran in our groups, which is our $1 million business model, right? That's kind of probably what we'll do this month. And then moving forward, we might do a variation of that. It's a little bit fancier, I guess, Canva actual presentations versus just a doc.
Chantel, that's a great question. If I did a 24-hour promo on the boot camp for Black Friday, do you think it's taken away from the clients that already paid in full price? Technically, yes, but you can counteract that by simply hitting the folks that have already bought, saying, hey, just because you guys are already in here, I'm going to give you guys access to a brand new training. So what I'm going to do is run a Black Friday sale. I'm going to show y'all how I do it start to finish and the results from it so that you guys can emulate it, right? This costs you no extra, right? But I'm just going to run a Black Friday campaign because that's the perks of having your own business and being able to do things how you want. So you could do like a separate call with your already buyers to give them that, right?
Or
That's
keep
one
same
way.
price and add more value for
Yep.
the Black Friday. Keep
Yep.
the same price, but add something to incentivize like the difference between the two. But if you do play around with like reducing the price, then you would probably want to give something extra to the already buyers.
Right.
Hey, I know you just paid X amount of dollars for this, and to like, I'm going to give you a group coaching call, extra call, or something to kind of counteract that. Because some people will get pissed, right? Some people won't, but I know sometimes, good example. I think this got broke down yesterday, like where, Sam Ovens does this a lot, like where he'll sell, masterminds and very expensive stuff, and then he'll turn around and sell it for 50% off, and it's like you're gonna piss some people off with that, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
So
definitely will.
yeah, I mean, there's two different ways you could potentially go about it.
Let's see. I'm gonna drop. If y'all got any other questions right now, glad to do that. Or if you want, I will. So I'm gonna make this one anyone with the link. I'll go ahead and drop the offer doc and then kind of walk you guys through it. Shouldn't take me that long. Because I talk fast and I'm on my 8th cup of coffee. Let's see. I need help getting to the invitation. Also, may I put the invite post on my profile, or is it only supposed to go to people in your group? Which are you talking about the free training we're doing Friday, Sharita?
Yes, I'm sorry. I keep having trouble getting out of the chat and getting back to.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, I am talking about that,
You can,
and Sundays as well.
yeah. So we're all gonna be in our group. I think the Friday training we'll do that Zoom call. That's what you've been using. If you use your affiliate link for the Friday training, which is the one that says free monthly training, you can share that wherever. I wouldn't put it in your post on like a profile or group because it takes them off the Facebook platform to register. What I would do instead is get them to drop a comment so they can register for free, and then you just kind of comment with it or send them a DM with it. That way Facebook
Excellent.
doesn't, take away from the reach of your
Fantastic.
post.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that first part where you said if I go to my affiliate link and then what?
Free live training.
Yep, it's the one that has the link says free live training in it.
Okay.
Or alternatively, even if any of the free trainings in the affiliate back office, they'll get to the training somehow.
Yep.
So I think there's two different ones in there, but either one would work realistically.
Yeah. All right, Amanda, have a kick-ass day. Nate, if you could, you might have did it already. Yep, you did. Always a step ahead of me. Let's see, let me make this a wee bit bigger. Can y'all see that okay? Do I need it 150%? Y'all can read it all right? Bigger. Okay, 1 second.
She's probably just being sarcastic.
Bigger. There it is. There it is. All right, so taking the chat down for a second. So super simple copy on this one. I've got 2 pictures on it, which is what made it 5 pages. It wouldn't be but 3 pages. Okay. Damn it, Ashley. Just to run you through the copy. So time is money and money creates time, so I won't waste yours. So I'm just quickly telling them, like, I don't want to waste your time. Here's the skinny on what I have going on for a few folks that want to get a new car. That's just to pique interest and curiosity. Not the car with wheels and a motor, but the car that will get you to the promised land of a simplified business that produces the monthly revenue to set you free. So I'm just kind of hitting people with a little bit of dopamine that want a simplified business that makes them money so they can be free. Now, I could add to it, you know, what free looks like if I wanted to add a few more lines, but I'm just keeping it simple for now. And I'm only going to tweak this after I've sent it to, 15 to 20 people and see what kind of responses I get. Right. Next line, we have been helping folks for years at this point, and our private clients have done quite well to the tune of millions of dollars in their businesses. This is just to let folks know, hey, we've helped other people make millions in their businesses, right? And now next line is telling them how we've done it without things that I know people hate, without running ads, without doing sales calls, fancy funnels, selling their souls on endless Zoom calls, or spending hours sending DMs as cold as Ice Cube in the 80s, which Ice Cube was pretty cold in the 80s, in case you didn't know, right? So just a little bit of copy flair there, talking about Ice Cube, but I'm mainly hitting on things I know people hate. The next one is kind of talking about our strategy, which is just one little simple ecosystem that is fed with an easy to build content machine that does all the heavy lifting and pre-selling for them while they work with dream clients or live life how they want on their own terms. That's always going to be attractive to folks, right? So next line, I pulled 13 trainings from my core accelerator coaching program that are tied directly to the client success from the last 2 years that folks have paid a minimum of $5,000 up to $14,000 to get access to. So what I'm doing here is letting them know, hey, this is 2 years of experience, data, and results that have worked. Plus, I'm doing a little money mindset thing here, letting folks know that, hey, folks have paid $5,000 to $14,000 to get access to these. Right. So now they're going to be thinking, all right, this is expensive. Right. This is a big investment. All right. Next line. These 13 trainings have allowed folks to fire their boss, have a manageable business that generates profit, for them surpassing 2 million in tracked sales, likely a lot more untracked, which is true. Right. So that's just another fact to kind of anchor in. Hey, this has worked for other people. Okay. And a result, right? That is monetary. Now, I tell them here, I said, my reason for doing this is simple. We constantly have folks that want to be in core with us due to the results and transformations happening inside. Okay. So I'm just telling folks like, hey, folks want to get in based on what they see happening from folks inside of core. So I wanted to create an accelerator ramp so folks can get up to speed and cruise to more leverage and more profit in their business to allow breathing room to melt the financial stress I know folks have. I'm just letting folks know that I know what folks are dealing with because I've dealt with it. I still deal with it, but this is going to help it. It's going to help them fix it or remove it. Okay. So the list below is all 13 trainings we have ran, plus the resource document to go with it. Beware of the shenanigans you get as a bonus because we have fun in core. Just a little, off the side thing, letting folks know, hey, you're going to get some shenanigans as a bonus, because we cutting up and sometimes we're slightly inappropriate inside of core. Now, I'm telling them before I drop the list, hey, you have 3 options to get only what you need based on what you want to accomplish and only pay for that. So I'm letting them know that, hey, you're in control of what you get, you're in control of what you pay, and you're in control of what you accomplish, right? And then I just dropped a picture of everything. Now, I did change a little bit of the copy for the folder names, just so they can see what they're getting in the outcome based on each training or folder, so you can read those for yourself. You got the doc, but I just changed a few things to make it look more appealing, more sexy, and to influence a buying decision. Okay. So there's all of those. You can check them and read them and just see what they are. And then I'm going to my call to action and giving them 3 options. Pick any training individually with a price tag of $125. Get as many as you want. Option 2, bundle any 3 trainings together with a price tag of $279 and save $96. Option 3, best bang for your buck. Get all 13 for $799 plus a one-on-one with Flate and save $826. Right? So all I'm doing there is, 1, letting them know that they're in control. They get to save money. And they've also got a best bang for your buck where you get a one-on-one call with Flate and you can save over $800. Right? So I then tell them all trainings come with the full coaching call and resource doc that you can watch whenever you want, when you want to inject some cash flow or advance in that specific area. All right. Now, I've never done anything like this. It may overwhelm the shit out of me if I get a lot of buyers, but that'll be okay because I'll be getting paid well to do it. Because if I get, 20 some folks picking different things and my PayPal's going ham, I'm going to do all of this manually. Right. Just as another test. So I tell them, pick your trainings based on the options above and send PayPal payment to, and I put my PayPal email. Then message me with the title of which ones you want, and I will send you the folder for instant access. Now, I took something that Chantel left on the post from my profile, and I used it to just be proof of concept. So just one training has the ability to change things for you and your business, hence this comment below. And then I put in, Chantel saying 2 trainings just helped her create an offer that's already generated 13 grand and it's not even live yet. So I just put that there for folks to see. And then I did this last little chunk here to create scarcity and also to disconnect me from the outcome, right? So I said, if I refund your PayPal payment, that means it's no longer available or we have reached the capacity of folks we wanted to have access to these trainings. Message me if you have any questions. Good luck. So I'm completely detached from what happens. And I'm telling them, like, I'm going to send you your money back if we reach capacity. I've kind of got a number in my head. Like, because if shit starts getting crazy, I'm just going to start refunding. Right? Like, for real, I will definitely do that. And that's just going to create like more of a FOMO for later things, and people will act quicker on later promotions and campaigns. Right? So that's the offer right there. Real quick and simple. I'll pay attention to what folks say after they read it. Whether folks buy, I'll be asking them like, hey, what was it that made you buy? Why did you grab these trainings? If they say no, don't want this, I'll ask them like, hey, cool, no worries. Anything I could do to make it a yes today, or could you tell me why it's a no for you right now? Right? And it's all data. Like, I don't even care if people don't buy it. Do I want them to buy it? Yeah, sure, absolutely. We all want to make money. But if they don't buy it, I'm just going to get a lot of data. I've already got data, right? So that's the offer in a nutshell.